the beacon of Western gastronomy is still French cuisine. And in Jakarta, the F&B group Union opened a more casual French restaurant in the most sophisticated district in Indonesia, Senopati. When French cuisine was starting to die and decline in the last few years, is this a return to the French cuisine's glory in the city? I'm Kevin Rasumantri. Come taste the beauty only on See Indonesia. Restaurants for me is the beating heart of a city. A venue where good food and community intertwine. That is why I love exploring new places, from those hidden on landways to the glitz and glam of modern restaurants. Follow me while I'm visiting the most exciting eating places around cities, only on See Indonesia. Do you know that I really love the spirit and ambience of Senopati of the day? The street is very vibrant. You know, like you can get a good cup of coffee and you can go also after that to the fine restaurants. Like everywhere you go around this area, signage of the best restaurants and cafes all are in one place. But do you know that actually, if you live in Jakarta 20 years ago, Senopati is not always like this. The fact is, the area was once a very silent and serene neighborhood. But if you go on the evening, Senopati is bustling with a new spirit, with people who love to eat and dine. In Senopati, like this, Anomaly actually started one of the first place that began Senopati as a dining area, as well as Yellowfin right there. And then one restaurant that's no longer here, but in the next time I'm going to go there, which is Emily. Earlier on, I told you that Emily was one of the most iconic restaurants in Senopati, but Emily is no longer here. But it's now transformed into yet another great French restaurant, which is Pierre, right behind me. What's interesting about Pierre is that, unlike any other restaurants in Senopati, that is they're trying so hard to be show off with the glamorous facade. Not Pierre. The restaurant is kind of hidden behind the bushes, but inside, it's a gastronomic majesty. And on the evening, I will visit Pierre and I will taste one of the best restaurants in Jakarta. Oh, the coffee is still good.
Halo, sore. Dengan Pak Kevin Diandra ya, baik. Sudah dari reservasinya ya Pak untuk hari ini ya Pak ya. Baik. Tablenya sudah ready ya Pak Kevin. Mari saya antar ke tablenya. Boleh. Untuk tablenya untuk di area non smoking.
Siap.
Mari silakan saya antar ya. Silakan Pak Kevin. Baik.
I do really remember the first time I eat French cooking. Well, actually, Pierre's kitchen is the first place that I get into the world of fine dining. This is actually a funny story because like 10 years ago, I was still working in the kitchen, and the kitchen is a witness that my love is growing for French cuisine. So in Jakarta, Pierre is one of the places that you have to go because it's the place that represents Senopati as the glitz and glam, South Jakarta as the epicenters of dining scene in Indonesia, I have to say. And what's interesting about Pierre is that this restaurant really represents the new spirit of the people of Jakarta who likes to eat and dine. I mean, come on, you can dress up like this, you can meet your friends, you can mingle with models and famous people in this restaurant. Perhaps for us, the glitz and glam of Senopati is something that is new, but actually, it is something that already familiar with Jakarta as a city. Because 100 years ago, places in the new Batavia around Juanda already offer this kind of experience, something that our ancestors experienced before. Do you know that, believe it or not, this bustling area was once the epitome of the gourmet cuisine in Jakarta, especially French cooking. And right behind me was back then the Hotel des Anges, or how the local call it, Hotel des Indes, which at that time, the place that they served was a grand French cookery. And now today, Hotel des Indes and all the area of Molenvliet is no longer represent how it used to be. Now, I'm at the Juanda Street. But back then, the street also known as the Racewick and Northwick, the Juanda and also the Veteran. But do you know that 100 years ago, if you live in this area, it was the Senopati of that day. Restaurant. I mean, it's a restaurant that served the best of the French food, cafe, beer hall, jewelry store, you name it. This place has it. It feels really nice to be served dishes like this because if you go to France or any bistro in France, whether in Paris, in Lyon, or in any cities in France, they will serve you dishes like this. I mean, these are the typical of food that they serve when they have guests that appear at your house. They have as simple as duck sausage or duck souzion that they serve with foie gras or the duck fat, and then the pistachio, the nuts, and then the chicken liver pate. It's so smooth, it's so decadent, and then they cook it really well. And then what I'm really interested to taste is actually the duck rillette. It's so fibery in a good way, but it's so dense and deep and robust in flavor. I have a funny story because when I first worked in the kitchen decades ago, cooking rillette is one of my first tasks. So I cook like duck rillette, I cook tuna rillette. So I'm really familiar with this flavor and texture. But at Pierre, they serve you things like you are anywhere in France in the best bistro in town. I mean, look at the foie gras inside of the sausage. It's fatty. It melts. It's sublime. And that's when you feel just a little bit oily or rich, they serve you the cornichon, or like a pickle that is sharp and fresh and cuts through all the fatness that you taste when you have this amazing array of charcuterie platter. This is, my friend, the epitome of French gastronomy. This frog leg is really amazing. I mean, come on, the sauce. If you can smell what I'm smelling from the other side, you will be tantalized, because this is how the French people eat this, by using their hands. This is so good. Because frog legs is one of the most iconic dishes in the French cuisine repertoire. And that not to mention, come on, the sauce. What makes a great French restaurant is actually the sauce. And you can see this buttery goodness, lemony sauce that you can soak with bread like this, and you eat like this, but you are in heaven. This is a sign, a perfect sign of a great French restaurant. Not good, but great. You know, sometimes it's kind of mind-boggling, like why a country that's so rich with meat and poultry, they have to invent dishes like this using frog. Well, actually, it happens for a reason, because back then, during the medieval era in France, they have meat restriction. So the people in France, they need to invent dishes using available ingredients that's around them. And then voila, the frog came to existence. And it's not ordinary frog, this is a kind of, we call it American bullfrog. Perhaps the same kind of frog that Indonesian people or Chinese people cook for, like suike in Purwodadi. That's why it has very meaty proportion in the frog. It's delicious. From the charcuterie to la grenouille, both are amazing. It's already gave me a hint of the quality of French food that Pierre has to offer, and I can't really wait for the main course and the dessert that will come after. Follow me while I'm visiting the most exciting eating places around cities only on See Indonesia. For me, perhaps Pierre has one of the most charming dining rooms in Jakarta. But as a matter of fact, the whole property was designed by the designer Jaya Ibrahim, the very person that designed Amanjiwo, Amandari, and the legendary Hotel Dharma Wangsa. So you can imagine the feel and the quality of the ambience that Pierre has to offer.
Hi citizen, I'm Brandon Fu from Pierre, Jakarta. My team and I would like to serve a Antoko Opwa to Kevin.
Do you know what I like from this? Of course, this entrecote is a very classic French dish, a very classic one. Yes, the meat, beautiful. The pepper crust on top. What they use is kind of white pepper. It's really sharp. It is really all good also. But for me, what the best is the sauce. You know that some people say that the soul of French cooking sits on the sauce. And this sauce made with brandy that they reduce until like caramel flavor that you can taste in the back of your mouth. The silkiness, the smoothness of the cream really match well with the spicy of the pepper and the buttery meat. It's a perfect match, especially with a good wine. So today, I will be accompanied with someone special, which is Chef Brandon Fu. He's the brainchild of Pierre in partnership with the Union Group, but he's also one of the brightest younger chefs in Singapore. I mean, he is one of the masters of French cooking in Singapore that has compiled lots of accolades and awards from like Bocuse d'Or into some of the most prestigious places. Well, actually, I've never met him in person, but I read lots of articles about his reputation, so I can't really wait to meet him in person.
Hi,
How
Kevin.
are you? Oh, it's a delicious one.
Thank you.
I love
you.
it.
Yeah.
Is this using white pepper or black pepper?
White.
Exactly.
Only white. Yeah. If we use black pepper, it's going to be spicy and too pungent.
See,
Yeah.
I did it right? It's white pepper instead of black pepper. But I mean, come on, the sauce, chef, really good.
The ingredients is quite simple.
Yeah.
Brandy, the cream, and a bit of beef sauce.
You can taste the kind of smoky
Yeah.
caramel of the brandy tone on the meat. But
Slightly smoky because we flambe a little bit.
yeah, it's really good. But yeah, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm really surprised when people say
Yeah.
that you're gonna come and then partner with Union and open Pierre. I was thinking that, why did you agree to partner with the Union Group to open Pierre?
Well, I mean, I decided to partner with Union Group, right?
Yeah.
I think we share the same level of enthusiasm, commitment that I have.
Yeah.
And at the same time, the communication is quite effectively, to making a decision, set a goal, and also drive the business forward, I think we're in the right tune, right, yeah.
And people actually can see that. I mean, people can actually, I would say, taste that both of the commitment that you guys met, and then we enjoy the good food in Pierre. But as an Asian chef, how do you find the interests of people of Jakarta or even like Asian people in general when it comes to preference of French cookery?
You mean the flavor profile, right? So, I mean, for French cuisine, right, usually, we use quite a bit of butter. Quite a bit. Especially my food, And then I think the people here still can accept the fact that, we are doing the authentic French way. I think it's a great potential,
Do you see Jakarta as a good market for restaurants like Pierre?
My first visit in Jakarta years back, I was quite the excitement of Jakarta, the metropolitan glamour of the Jakarta. It has a great potential for French food,
Because something that's really unique from my perspective is that when you open Pierre with Union, I told the Winfred, like, are you serious? Because during that time, in Jakarta, the numbers of French restaurants quite declining a lot.
Right.
But when you open, it changes everything. Like people find their love again for French cooking.
I think our cuisine is a casual dining and it's bistro. It's not so-called fine dining, that kind of setting. And also, I think people get tired. They want the atmosphere is more laid back and more relaxed.
And this is sharing portion.
It's sharing portion.
I'm having this for myself.
Why not?
Hey then.
Santé. Et bon appétit.
Merci, monsieur. Merci beaucoup.
Enjoy.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Follow me while I'm visiting the most exciting eating places around cities only on See Indonesia. So we've had the first, the second, and the main course. And we already had talk with Brandon. He's an amazing chef, isn't he? But I can't wait. Does he also create great desserts in Pierre? Oh, look at that. Look at this. You know, one thing that's really outstanding about how French people cooks is they manage to make a simple ingredients into something special, like this hazelnut. You know that this is a dakwa, which is a kind of almond sponge cake, but they pair it really well with the ganache made of guanaha chocolate, which is a high quality of chocolate. They say this is Varona. So it has this depthness and darkness and intensity of the earthy flavor of the chocolate. But at the end, on my palate, it is something sweet like honey. So does the ice cream. What I really like about this dessert is actually the combination of texture. Because if you look at this, the dakwa is kind of dense. But on top of the dakwa, this is something that we in French call as a feuilletin. Feuilletin is something crispy and crunch that gives a hint of shattered texture. So it's no longer just gooey and dense, but it has the 3 layers of flavor and texture in this dessert. From the first course to the end, Pierre has really come to its promise as the finest French restaurant in the city that serves French cooking in an authentic way. Pierre, au bientôt, je t'aime.